Good afternoon, everyone. We all are familiar with literal meaning of a term inheritance, that is derived properties from ancestors. In programming terminology, inheritance in C++ meaning inheriting the characteristics or properties of a parent class. So in this session we see inheritance and types of inheritance. So this is an overview. What is the inheritance, importance of our inheritance, types of inheritance and visibility mode in a inheritance. So what is inheritance? As the name itself suggests, inheritance is nothing but the ability of a class to inherit all characteristics of another class. It is one of the most significant feature of a OOP. So let us consider the real life example. A class name inherits its properties from another class Arthropoda, which is itself inherits from another class Animalia. The Animalia is the base class of Arthropoda. Arthropoda is the base class of insects and derived class of Animalia, and insects are derived class of Arthropoda. Similarly, implementing the concept of inheritance allows you to generate real world model. So we see another example of inheritance. Suppose there are three sections in 12th grade of a your school ABC. The function that we need to perform in each class are taking the attendance, distributing newspaper to students who subscribe for it, and giving them their final grade. So here we see with inheritance diagram and without inheritance diagram. So there are two terms you need to familiar with in order to understand inheritance in C++. One is a base class, another is a derived class. Base class, it is also known as a superclass or the parent class. It is responsible for sharing its properties with its derived classes. And derived class is also known as a subclass or child class. It is responsible for inheriting some of all properties of a base class. What is importance in the inheritance in C++? So there are numerous reasons as to why the concept of inheritance was introduced in C++. Here are some reason why. It is a drastically reduce code redundancy as it allows the derived class to inherit all properties of the base class, leaving no room for duplicate data to achieve the same task. Inherits in C++ feature of a code reusability. We can use the same fragment of a code multiple times to sum up it, and inheritance help us save our development time, maintain data in simplified manner, and gives us to provision to make our code extensible. It increase the code reusability, code reliability by providing a definite body to program. The transitive nature of inheritance make things much easier for us. Types of inheritance. There are five types of inheritance: single inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, and hybrid inheritance. So first we see single inheritance. This type of inheritance in C++ happens when parent class has only one child class. In other words, this is only one derived class from base class. So one base class and one derived class. So syntax is a simple: base class, body of the base class, derived class, and body of the derived class. So here we see the code of the single inheritance. So we here we output is a here output is a sum of base class and derived class. So here we see the value integer value for base class, and the integer input is the integer value of a base class, and integer value of a derived class, and sum up both classes, and the count will be the shown. So here we see enter the value of a base class. So I will take 2. I'm taking 2, and enter the integer value of a derived class. It's 8, and the sum of the both classes are 10. So second type is a multiple inheritance. This is a type of inheritance happens when the child class inherits its properties from more than one base class. In other words, the derived class inherits properties from multiple base class. Means here the multiple base classes are gather in a one single derived class. So we see the syntax also. Class A is a base class of a B, body of the class A. Class B is a base class, class B is a derived from A, and class C is a derived of a class A and class B. So hierarchical inheritance. Hierarchical inheritance is a multiple child classes inheritance their properties from just a single base classes. So we here see A is a base class single, and that the child are B, C, D, E, F, G, and we see here syntax. Class A, which is a base class of a B, class B, which is a derived class of A, class C is a derived class of A, class D is a derived class of A. So next is a multi-level inheritance. This is a type of inheritance is the best way to represent transitive nature of inheritance. In a multi-level inheritance, a derived class inheritance all its properties from class that itself inherits from another class. So we see here class A is a base class, class B is a derived class of A, and class C is a derived from derived class. So next is a syntax of the multi-level inheritance. Hybrid inheritance. This is a type of inheritance essentially combine more than two forms of inheritance discussed above. For instance, when child class inheritance from multiple base classes, all its parents classes and child classes itself serve as a base class for a three of a desired classes. So here we see syntax of a hybrid inheritance. Then visibility mode in a inheritance. We earlier see that base class and derived class. In that we see the visibility mode in a C++. There are three types of a visibility mode. First is a public. The public visibility mode allows the derived class to access the public and protected but not private member of a base classes. Here diagrammatically we see the public visibility mode. Then second is a private. The private visibility mode allows the desired class to access the public and protected member of a base class privately. Here see the diagram of the visibility private visibility mode. And third is a protected. The protected visibility mode allows the derived classes to access the public and protected members of the base class in a protected mode. It helps the user to specify how feature of a base class are derived from derived classes. Thank you.